your camera. So I will start recording now. Again, this is Understanding Your Financial Aid Award Package. Welcome to everyone. Take it away, Matthew.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight with going over Understanding Your Financial Aid Package. I understand that, finances is a big deciding factor in committing to college. And so that's why I want to make sure that all of you have the knowledge and the know-how in order to make informed decisions and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So as Patty said, my name is Mathew Catanese. I'm the director here for financial aid. I've been with the college for a little over 4 years now, but have over 11 years of financial aid experience. I just want to say, if you do have questions throughout the presentation, please put them in the chat. Allison or Maisha will be able to answer them quickly. I ask that any specific questions tailored to your particular award package or a specific question regarding your situation, I ask that you wait till the end of the presentation. You'll get our contact information, and then you email or reach out to our office tomorrow morning, and we can go over that a little more in depth. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. So Understanding Your Financial Aid Award Package. Today we're going to go over, we're going to discuss some commonly used financial aid lingo. We're going to do the cost of attendance, overview of types of financial aid, accepting your financial aid award here at CCS through self-service, and then we'll have a short Q&A session at the end. So cost of attendance, or COA. This is the school's estimated total yearly cost, so your sticker price. It includes both billable and non-billable costs. So what that means is billable costs are your tuition fees, if you're staying on campus, housing, meal plan. Non-billable costs are books and supplies, travel expenses, miscellaneous expenses that may arise, costs that you're going to incur at some point, but we can't nail down a specific dollar amount. So it's just a generic cost that all students have built into their cost of attendance. The expected family contribution, or EFC, this is determined by FAFSA, and it's based on the data that was inputted and helps the school determine your financial aid awards. This is a government calculation, so the school has no bearing on the decision-making of what the EFC number is. And the EFC, if you fill out the FAFSA application, no matter if you were to attend CCS, a public school, a community college, a career institution, the EFC would be constant. So that number would be the same for any institution that you put on your FAFSA application. Financial need. This is determined by subtracting the expected family contribution number from the cost of attendance. And what this does is this helps the school's financial aid office determine financial need-based aid. So your grants, your scholarships, your subsidized loan eligibility, federal work study opportunities. Grant and scholarship, these are often referred to as gift aid. This is aid that is either need or merit-based, and the funding is generally does not need to be paid back as long as you meet the specific requirements. A work study, these are on-campus student job opportunities that are federally or institutionally funded. Here at CCS, all students are eligible for work study. We cannot guarantee a job, but you are able to research job opportunities, apply to them, and if it accepted by the hiring department, you can begin as a work study. And then loans. These are funds that do need to be repaid. They're borrowed to assist with financial costs. And so students have the eligibility to borrow as direct subsidized or unsubsidized loans. And for those students that are dependent, their parents have the eligibility to apply for the direct parent plus loan. So understanding the cost of attendance. So as mentioned before, the cost of attendance is the anticipated or estimated cost of attending college or university during an academic year. So at CCS, an academic year would be fall 2022, winter 2023. This is often referred to as a sticker price since it includes both billable and non-billable costs. So to help break down those billable and non-billable costs, on the left of your screen, you'll have your billable costs, so your tuition, your mandatory fees, on-campus students, your housing, also a meal plan. And then you have your non-billable costs on the right side of your screen, where you got your books, your supplies, personal expenses, travel expenses, and room and board for commuters. And again, these are very generic for all students, since the costs vary from student to student. So putting it into perspective, College for Creative Studies sticker price. So on the left of your screen, you have off-campus and campus housing. And then on the right side of the screen, that is supposed to be at home, not off-campus or campus housing. So I apologize for that little snafu. But as you can see, your tuition for full-time, and these are annual costs. So again, thinking fall and winter semesters. Your billable costs are your tuition at full-time enrollment, which is $48,030. And right there, I have anywhere from 12 to 18 credits. At CCS, we do have a full-time enrollment block tuition rate. So regardless if you attend 12 credits or 18 credits, you're still paying the same price. Then you have your resource fee, which is $11.80, and then your registration fee of $200. And then the accident insurance. So what this is that is insurance that all students are pay into, and it protects both the student and the campus if an incident happens, like in a shop area or in a studio class. And then tuition insurance. Tuition insurance is the only billable cost that students can opt out of. Tuition insurance is, it helps protect the student in the event that the student has to withdraw due to a medical reason or something out of their control during, say, the middle of the semester. And so that it allows them to be able to submit a claim to recoup up to 75% of the cost during that semester. So for students that are attending either off campus or on campus, tuition fees, you're looking at $49,757. Okay, that is before any type of financial aid, any grants, scholarships, student loan eligibility is taken into consideration. For my on-campus students, you're going to add about another $88.50 to that amount, which that covers housing and meal plan. So total cost for students living on campus is $58,607. So the reality of all of that, generally speaking, for this year, the estimated average grant and scholarship award, which includes all federal, state, and institutional grant and scholarship awards, is roughly around $25,874. So for my on-campus students, you're looking at, after all said and done, at total costs. This is not including student loans. Your estimated balance after the estimated average grant and scholarship award is applied, you're looking at around $32,733. Now, most students that fill out the FAFSA application are eligible for federal student loans. So then if the student, takes that student loans, then it further reduces, the costs, out-of-pocket cost. For the students that are living off campus or commuting, after we apply the estimated grant scholarship award, your new estimated balance is around $23,883. Again, this is before student loans. This is before any payment plans or any outside scholarship opportunities that you may have applied to and were granted. 529 college savings plans, maybe some money that is gifted to you by your grandparents, or if mom and dad say that they're going to cover a portion of the balance. So this is before any of that. So this puts it back into reality that, you know, that $63,000 mark or that $58,000 mark that students see, the cost of the overall cost of attendance, it really isn't that much. So understanding your award package. So if you applied to CCS, you were accepted. All students are reviewed for merit-based awards that are based upon your portfolio and your high school, or if you're a transfer student, college GPA. And that would be in the form of a CCS scholarship or a CCS award. So you would get that scholarship letter from the admissions office after you have been accepted into the college. And then if you filled out the FAFSA application, that's when my office then is able to review further eligibility. So further institutional grants, maybe state of Michigan grants, and then federal eligibility. So if you have been accepted and you filled out the FAFSA application, you should have received an award package from my office. That would be your award letter, which would detail out all grant, scholarship, and student loan eligibility, as well as a slew of other information, such as our cost of attendance, the federal Parent Plus loan, outside scholarship guide opportunities. So this right here on the screen is just a sample award letter. So again, just to reiterate, the scholarships and grants that you see at the top, that is gift aid. That is generally funds that do not need to be repaid as long as you are meeting the requirements. And with that, generally speaking, finishing out the semester and passing your courses. If you were to withdraw, you know, at some point during the semester, or if you were to drop courses, then that could affect future eligibility for these scholarships and grants. And then you have your finance options. So your subsidized and unsubsidized loans that the students can take out in their name. And then the federal Parent Plus loan, which the parent can then apply for that loan. And then it's up to the Department of Education to either approve or deny the loan request. Now, for the parents that think, well, there's no way that I'm going to be approved for, you know, a Parent Plus loan. I've seen some strange things. So if whenever in doubt, I say go for the application process and let the Department of Education make the decision. If the loan is denied by the Department of Education, then it does open up additional loan eligibility to the student. If the loan is approved, the parent does not have to take out the loan. So there's really no obligation at that point for the parent to take out the loan if he or she does not want to. And then some of you will see federal work study funding. And again, this is a part of need-based aid, and these are funds that are not directly applied to your tuition and housing balance, much like your loans and grants and scholarships. The employment, so the federal work study is earned income. So you would get the job on campus, you would work your shift, you would get paid every 2 weeks, and then ideally you would then put the work study earnings towards educational expenses, you know, past due balances, project costs, or save it for future semesters, even books and supplies. And then outside of this, you can then seek out outside options, such as outside scholarships. If your parents or grandparents were in the military, they could potentially be qualified for, you know, veterans education benefits. If you are working or your parents are working, it's always encouraged to reach out to the HR departments to determine if there's any type of employer tuition reimbursement offerings. College savings plans like 529, savings plans. If you're going to pay cash for the remaining balance, making factoring that into your overall package. And then we also offer a 5-month payment plan per semester, which then helps break up those payments so you're not paying it all off at once. So gift aid, you have your scholarships. I kind of touched on this, but this is aid that does not need to be paid back. It's awarded based on merit, skill, or unique characteristic, generally received from colleges, universities, private companies, or organizations. And this includes, but not limited to, the CCS Merit Awards, so your CCS scholarship, your CCS award, other institutional scholarships, such as maybe endowment scholarships or restricted scholarships that are set aside for specific departments, your Michigan Competitive Scholarship, and then outside scholarships. And then you have your grants. So again, these are funds that usually don't have to be paid back. They're awarded based on financial need. And they're generally received from colleges, universities, state and federal aid programs. Annual FAFSA completion is required. So this is including the Michigan Tuition Grant, the federal Pell Grant, the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, so FSEOG, or other institutional grants. So again, to recap, gift aid is not usually paid back. So this is gift aid. Oops. And then you have your self-help aid. So you have work study, which again is on-campus employment. It's funding that helps pay for educational costs. At CCS, all students are eligible to apply for work study opportunities, and you can visit our campus page, the Financial Aid Office campus page, for more information regarding work study opportunities. You have your federal direct loans. So this is your subsidized, your unsubsidized loans. This is money that students and parents can borrow to help pay for college expenses. This type of funding does need to be repaid back. Repayment usually begins 6 months after graduation or the enrollment status drops below 6 credits. And the loans, again, include, subsidized and unsubsidized loans, so loans in the student's name. And the only difference between those two loans is that the subsidized is interest deferred. So the government is paying the interest on that loan as long as you maintain part-time enrollment status. The unsubsidized loan, the interest is bearing and it's accumulating as the loan pays out to the student's account. And then the Federal Parent Plus loan, again, this loan, there is an application process and it goes out to the Department of Ed, and the Department of Ed determines whether or not to approve or decline the loan. And this is interest bearing. So it's treated much like the unsubsidized loan. And as you can see, the interest rates for this academic year. Now, every July, the Department of Education reviews the interest on those loans and determines whether or not to raise it, lower it, or keep it the same. So these rates are subject to change from year to year, but any loans that are certified and paid under that current interest rate, it is fixed. So it's pretty common to have multiple loans from year to year with different interest rates attached to them. And then when all else fails and you've exhausted all of your opportunities, either with the federal direct loans or the Parent Plus loan, you do have the opportunity to seek out private educational loans. And this is money students and parents can borrow to help, again, pay for college expenses. This is kind of like your last resort type loan because the interest varies and is generally higher than the federal options. The repayment is based on lender specifications. So repayment can begin right away. It can be deferred while you're in school. It really is up to the lender when it comes to repayment. These loans can be borrowed from any bank, credit union, or national lender that's often offering educational lending. And although we don't have a preferred lender list, we do partner with Elm Select to provide a list of lenders that students at CCS have utilized in the past. And you can do your comparison on there in your own research and determine if, you know, the private loan option is an option for you. And then the CCS offer breakdown. So again, we kind of touched on this. This would be your award letter that you would receive from our office, and it would break down, you know, your scholarships, your grants, your finance options like your loans and things like that. And then, you know, it would give you your quick bits as to what your award looks like. So the next steps. So after you have applied to the college, you've been accepted, you have deposited the $250 enrollment deposit to secure your spot into the fall 22 cohort, you're going to start receiving emails from my office to accept or reject your financial aid awards. So your grants and scholarships are accepted on your behalf. The federal Pell Grant and the Michigan Tuition Grant, you will see these awards in a pending status when you're logged into self-service. Since these awards are based on course attendance, we have to wait until you actually start attending the courses. So these awards are being factored in towards your overall balance. However, they will not actually pay until after week 2, after attendance has been recorded and reviewed in each one of your registered courses. So the Federal Parent Plus loan, you will not be able to accept this award through self-service. If your parent is interested in applying for the Parent Plus loan, there is an application that would need to be completed and returned to the financial aid office for processing. There is a soft credit check associated with the student with the parent loan request. And again, the Department of Education decides the approval or denial status. And then there's the link if you've misplaced the plus loan authorization form that you should have received as part of the financial aid award package sent out to the student. So once you paid the admissions deposits or the enrollment fee of $250, then you will get full access to self-service. So when you log in, you're going to be logging in through your Access Manager. From there, you'll select self-service and then financial aid. Make sure that you are selecting the 2022-23 financial aid award year. Currently, we do have 2 years open this current year, 21-22 and 22-23. So make sure that you are selecting the 22-23 financial aid award year. And then about middle of your page, you'll see a yellow caution triangle thing that says action needed. That's where you'll click on to review and accept your financial aid award package. So realistically speaking, you are just accepting or rejecting your student loans. So you'll scroll down, you'll see your grants and scholarships at the top of the award package. Again, your gift aid. And then as you scroll down, you'll have your student loans. So you'll be able to then accept your subsidized or unsubsidized loans. You are accepting them for the year, so fall and winter semester. And the total amount will be split equally between both semesters. And then once you submit, hit accept or decline, if you accept the loans, then it'll prompt you to complete entrance loan counseling and sign a master promissory note. Both of those are federal requirements that the Department of Education require. And it'll prompt you to go out to studentaid.gov. And then you'll log in using your FSA ID and password. and then you'll complete both requirements electronically, and then they will be sent to the school and link up to your loan records. So ways to reduce costs before and during your attendance at CCS. So a big disclaimer that I'm putting out there is that many students stop looking for scholarships and grants once they are attending CCS. I'm going to tell you, don't stop, because any grant or scholarship opportunities that you are awarded or you are notified that you are the winner, we can get those applied to your account. If your balance is completely paid in full at the point that we receive the funding, then it would be just refunded back to you, which then you could use for the miscellaneous expenses, the books or supplies. You could save it for future semesters so you don't have to take out maybe so many loans. Or you can, if you're taking out loans, you can use the additional refund to maybe make a one-time payment. So looking for outside scholarships and grants is an ongoing process before and during your attendance at CCS. So ways to reduce those costs, you're looking at your work study job opportunities, outside grants and scholarships. Community involvement is a good way to secure organizational funding. So if you volunteer, at a national organization or even a local organization, it may garner additional, funding that you could use towards your education. Internships and sponsored projects, those are opportunities you generally, done in your junior and senior years. Once you've established, a work ethic, once you've honed in on your artistic, skills, and all of that. Summer jobs, don't think that it's a vacation, once the winter semester ends in May, go back home, pick up maybe that summer job that you may have left during the year, or, look for a local job around campus so you can, if you're close. And then another big thing is taking courses at a community college during the summer and then transferring those to CCS. So you can take your liberal arts, your gen ed courses at a local community college at a much cheaper price, and then transfer those in. So it's chipping away at the amount of credits that you would need to take at CCS. I do encourage that if this is the option that you are looking at, to meet with your academic advisor and go over, course by course, what you can take, what transfers, so that you're not left in the dark, trying to make a decision on your own. And then the course doesn't, pan out and doesn't transfer. So I wouldn't want you to waste any money is what I'm trying to get at. And here is our contact information. So we are on the main campus, the Ford campus. We're located in the Yamasaki building. Those that have done tours at CCS and can remember, it's the all glass building behind the brick laced wall. So you have our phone number, our email. If you want to set up an appointment with us, we do that. We do Zoom phone appointments, or since we are now back on campus, we do in-person meetings as well, or as required. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions. If you want to ask your question, feel free to unmute yourself. Please, not all at once.
I have a question, Matthew.
Absolutely.
And forgive me if this is a weirder question, maybe I shouldn't ask, but so we got a scholarship, award and tuition grant. And I'm just wondering, so my son hasn't accepted it yet, but he will, he'll go in there and accept it. He is registered for the fall and he has his housing already picked out. Is there any way that he can get additional scholarship opportunities from CCS?
So that would come not necessarily upfront, like during his freshman or sophomore year. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's more realistic for additional funding to come junior, senior year, to kind of get you over that hump and to graduation. So that's where like your departmental competitions come into play, your sponsored projects, the internships, those all garner additional funding if picked or if participated in. And all of that can be then put towards tuition, fee, housing balance. Now in housing, you're looking at, he could potentially become an RA, which then his housing costs would be covered and he would receive a small stipend, during the semester to assist with like the meal plan and things like that. So right now up front, you're looking at the outside scholarship and grant opportunities. And again, things come across my desk all the time, and I do my best to, compile them, vet them, and get them out to the students, through maybe the weekly email that is sent out through student affairs. So they are out there. If your family has suffered a hardship and the financial information on the FAFSA is not a true reflection of your current financial status, then I would encourage you to reach out to your financial aid counselor based on last name and discuss that. And then maybe we can even look at adjusting the FAFSA data to reflect the more realistic financial picture. And which then at that point may bring the student into additional grant and scholarship aid eligibility.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Any other questions?
Would you mind if I asked you a little bit about the work study?
Absolutely.
Okay, I haven't taken the time to look into that, as you pointed out online. What kind of jobs are open for students? And you said they're eligible for any student, and it looks like it's about 20 hours a week.
Correct. Yep. So all students are eligible to participate in the work study program. At CCS, there is an institutional pot for those students that don't qualify for the federal pot of money. And essentially, students would have to apply for an open position. Open positions can be anything from working in the shops, working for, maybe their department, as helping, helping the program managers with paperwork or filing. There's secretarial type jobs. You could work as a tutor in the writing and tutoring labs. If there is opportunities to go out in the community with our CAP program and participate in educational artistic classes that they put on for disadvantaged students in K through 12 or things like that. So there's a whole bunch of job opportunities. It's not just, the run-of-the-mill, you're going to be pushing paper type things. And the max combined, so students can also have multiple positions, but the max that they could work weekly is 20 hours. And the wage breakdown is between minimum wage, which is $9.65 up to $11 an hour. And the wages are determined by the hiring manager in the department. Each department is given a budget, so they have to stay within those constraints. And it basically depends on their need. So If the student goes to the financial aid office page, there is a link that has current work study positions. Those positions are updated all throughout the summer. And so the student, can apply to any position that the student meets the requirements for. There are some, work study positions that want specific skill sets or classes already been taken and things like that. So, and that would, spell it all out during the application process. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. So the student would get an hourly rate plus a $3,000 towards, no.
No, so it would just be that hourly rate. They could potentially earn up to that $3,000 mark.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And again, that $3,000 mark that's shown on the award letter, that is not being applied to the tuition fees, housing, meal plan charges. That's just basically a placeholder. So the student actually has to go out and, apply for the jobs, get hired, and then at that point they could start earning up to that $3,000 mark or $1,500 per semester. Any other questions?
I have one that I was wondering when the counselors are going to reach out to the students to set up, like, when do they pick their classes and that type of thing.
They academic advising, I believe they just sent something out. New students are going to start registering, I believe, May 17th. So at that point, I'm assuming probably the beginning of May, the academic advising team will start reaching out to students, setting up appointments. From my understanding, it will be a group, like Zoom meeting, students that are within the same program. And at that point, the academic advisors will then go over the registration process, how to read your academic plan, and make sure that you're registering for the right classes. And then they'll go ahead and walk the student through the registration process, so the student is actually registering through self-service. So just around the corner. So Ty is asking, how do we accept merit award scholarships? So those scholarships and grants are already accepted on your behalf. When we are reaching out to accept your financial aid award package via email, we are really asking you to go into self-service, review your financial aid award, and accept or reject your student loan eligibility. Any other questions? These are really good questions. I appreciate you guys taking the time to, think about it. And, no question is a bad question. So, feel free to keep throwing them out at us. If you think of a question, maybe tonight, tomorrow, you have our contact information. You can always shoot us a quick email, give us a call. If it's something more in depth that requires a appointment, feel free to also set up an appointment. The good thing is what we're seeing with Zoom is that mom and dad can be in one location and then the student can be in another location, and then we still can have the meeting at a normal time with everybody in attendance. And so it takes away some of the scheduling conflicts that families do have.
Okay, it looks like we're kind of winding up a little bit. Matthew, the one question I saw in the chat was about, and I think you had already answered it though, about what the on-campus work study jobs pay. And I think you said minimum wage up to $11 an hour. Is that what you said?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a range. Okay. So we just want to make sure that one got answered. Does anybody have any other questions for Matthew or the staff? I know it's not a big group, so it sounds like we got quite a few of them answered. And I will agree that most likely you'll think of something tomorrow or in an hour from now. So please take these contact info things here. If you miss it for some reason or you can't find it tomorrow, all the contact info is on our website. So you can always start there as well. Last chance. Does anybody have any other questions?
Going once.
I think we're I think we're there. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and participating in our little get together here. Please reach out to the financial aid office or the admissions office if you have any other questions. And thank you very much for your time this evening. And somebody asked at the beginning about where the recording will be. I will have it posted on YouTube on the CCS page, probably first thing tomorrow morning. So you can check it out there. All right, everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for attending, guys.
Yep, thanks everybody.